Okay, so today I'm going to be redesigning the Yandere simulator characters. Or at least I'm doing Ayano and Osana right now. And for Ayano, I really wanted to change her appearance to come up to be something a little bit more cute. Like, she's meant to be a Yandere, and the thing about Yanderes is the yan is like the violent part, and then the dere dere is the sweet part. And I felt like her design fell way more into the danger zone of character. Like, she looks very dangerous, cold, calculating. She doesn't look like a very dere dere type character, in my opinion. So I wanted to give her a more dere dere vibe, to be more like a typical shoujo protagonist. So one of the things I did was I gave her twin tails, as you can see, and I kept her bangs though, because I feel like the sharpness of the bangs and like the way that the hair fell gives it like a type of the line weight, the way the lines work. It looks kind of sharp, it looks kind of piercing, it looks like dangerous almost, and that's what I wanted to do for her. So I gave her twin tails, and I made sure that the twin tails were kind of spiky at the ends instead of being like standard, like curly, flowy, similar to, you know, the other orange girl that hangs out with Osana, Rivaru, I hate her name, it's so stupid. That one. I wanted it to be like different from her. So like downwards facing, to be more like she's more mature, but still cute. I wanted to have that cute aspect of her character. And her expression, I was thinking it would be something like, oh, she just saw a rival saying that they're going to confess to her senpai, and she's like really conflicted, she's angry, she's upset, and she's also like flustered a little bit. And as for her clothes, I didn't change it too much. I actually kept like the actual sailor uniform, which I know is like controversial. A lot of people are like, oh, the sailor uniforms, they're not high school uniforms, so they should go away. And I agree, but I also disagree, because it's like an anime tropey game. The characters are all tropes. It doesn't need to be like 100% accurate. I know that Yandere Dev says it's an accurate and like super mature game, but it's really not, so I don't see any good reason why it has to be. So I gave her the uniform, but I added a blazer, and I put like the seams on the outside to make it look a little bit more structured, more mature, more like it's a more fancy uniform. So I did that. Like, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to keep the uniform, but I wanted to look more like a more fancy uniform, because it's supposed to be a pretty prestigious school, but it's also meant like they're high schoolers, so wearing a more like mature uniform like gives them the vibe of being like older characters. So that was one of the things I did. I also added like the gold accents just to make it a little more fancy. I was debating on whether I was going to add the white stripe, but I just went with it. I didn't really care. I also added the red ribbons in her hair, but I didn't add like the bow part, because I thought like the bow made her look too cute. Like, I wanted her to be cute, but I wanted the dangerous aspects of her character to be a lot more subtle in her design. So she has like sharper ponytails with spiky tendrils. Her bangs have a little bit of spike to it. They end in a sharp point. I left her socks just regular, the same way. I don't like the way Yandere Dev does, like, he has the character designer give them all like weird funky socks, and hers are okay, like hers are tolerable. They're way too thigh high though, like her skirt's too short. I tried to lengthen it a little bit, but it's still an over the knee. It's still like a pretty short skirt, and the socks go over the knee. I was gonna give her tights, but then I decided I would reserve the tights for a much more like elegant character, because I feel like tights, like stockings, give like a more professional, more like fancy look to the character. So I just went with like very basic designs, because I feel like Ayano, while she is cute, and I wanted her to look like a more stock shoujo protagonist, so she should look cute, she should look a little bit basic, I guess. She shouldn't stand out too much, but there should still be some subtle. I wanted to add a little bit of subtlety to her design to make her look like, you know, yeah, she is like cute and lovey-dovey, but there's a little bit of a dark side to her, and I hope that I was able to communicate that into the designs, but I'm not really sure I was able to. Yeah, I took forever on these shoes. I really don't like drawing them, but the thing is, when you're drawing, you have to force yourself to draw things that you don't like doing in order to improve sometimes. So for me, it's hands and feet. And this is like a very simplified way I do hair, is I use the watercolor brush for basically everything. Because compared to the pen tool, it gives like a very soft faded look to it. So I feel like when I use the watercolor brush, it gives it like a fade. It fades into the other color very nicely. So I don't have to blur any of the shading. I also use the Airbrush Tool, which you will see in a second. I use the Airbrush Tool to like fade in the characters, the colors a little bit more. I use the Airbrush Tool for shading and highlighting. But yeah, if you're wondering how I color hair, it's really simple. This is a little bit less fancy than I would normally do. Like I would add sparkles and like I'd add extra color to the shading, but this is basically the gist of it. Just like I do the highlights on an add layer to make it nice and shiny, and then I use like very simple blobs or like little lines for the highlights, and that's about it. It's really nothing special. But yeah, this is Ayano, and I hope that she gets across the character. And next I was going to do Osana, who she's the character, one of the characters I had the biggest issue with her designs. Like her and Oka, who I'm gonna do next time, I really don't like their designs. So for Osana, I wanted her to look kind of tsundere, but I wanted to amp up like the dere part in her too. So I gave her like soft hair, like soft curls to her hair. She kind of looks like Miku in World is Mine with her curls, which I was thinking like the whole time. It's like, oh my gosh, she looks like Miku from World is Mine. But I wanted to give her like a softness to her design, so I gave her like the soft hair, but then I kept the sharpness and the like pointed eyeliner and like sharp tendrils of hair sticking all around. I gave her thicker eyebrows because I wanted her to like look both. I wanted to amp up both the sun and the dere. I also was debating on whether to turn the scrunchies into ribbons, but I like the scrunchies. I like them well enough. And her uniform, like they're in a uniform, but I decided to open up the blazer and give her a vest underneath. So with her blazer, it's open, she has a vest. It makes her look a little bit more like casual, I guess. Like compared to Ayano, I wanted her to look very basic and like a little bit prim, a little bit proper, but I wanted to give, what's her name, Osana, a lot more personality to her uniform. And no thigh highs for her. I hate the socks in this game so much. But also every single character having thigh highs is just it's just no. And I feel like she would work better with, I think they're called crew socks. And for her skin, I actually did darken her hair and skin just a little bit. Like it's subtle, but I wanted her to have like a bit of a sunny undertone to her skin, so a little bit more yellow and it's a little bit more tan, just to differentiate her from Ayano, who's a lot more pale. And I did want to keep like the salmon color from her socks, so I put it into her sweater vest, and I actually added like the red to her socks on the stripes too. And I gave her blue eyes to like it's another aspect of that soft character. But then at this point I was like, no, I don't like that red, and it blends too much into her hair. And I was gonna change the vest too, but it was like, nah, it doesn't look good on the vest. So I kept the vest salmon colored, and I gave the scrunchies the blue color because it stands out a lot more among her hair, and it also matches her eyes. Like maybe Taro gave it to her for her birthday, was like, oh, it matches your eye color, it really makes you look pretty, and then she starts wearing them every day or something. And basically that was about really all I did for Osana. I just shortened her hair considerably. The Miku twin tails had to go. That was just too much. It was just way too much. I also gave her freckles, and it was not intentional at all, but I do think that it kind of brings more into the polka dot theme she has into her face. Like, she lost her polka dot socks, but now she has polka dots in her face. So, like, that was not really my intention, but thinking about it now, it really works for her. And yeah, I basically kept her expression and her pose almost the same. And you can see this time I'm using the pen tool for the hair. There's really no reason for that other than I was probably just too lazy to grab the other tools. And yeah, this is Osana, and we're done. So I hope you liked my designs, and I will be doing more characters soon, so comment which ones you want to see next, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, and I post more art there. And yeah, if you want to see like redesigns from like different series though, let me know, because I do like to do them for fun. And yeah, I'll be doing, I guess, Oka next and another character. I haven't decided which one. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.